Hey guys, I'm Andrew, also known as Iron Android, and I love to talk about movies and TV shows way too much. With that being said, in today's video, I'm going to be ranking my top 10 favorite Nickelodeon shows from when I grew up, from the worst to the best, and I would love to hear your guys' rankings in the comments down below. In 10th place, I got I Am Frankie. The only reason why I have this in 10th place is because I like how it explored something different than Nickelodeon hasn't done before, but it had awful acting and the quality is so cheap and the comedy is really bad. No wonder they stopped after 2 seasons, but the only thing I really don't like about this show as well is that they left us off on a cliffhanger and then just canceled the entire show altogether. So in that reason, I rate it a 2 out of 10. In ninth place, I got the Haunted Hathaways. It's like the Brady Bunch with 3 women and 3 guys. The show was funny and spooky, but not really that scary. It was about 2 single parents bringing their two own kids to live with each other, where a mom and 2 daughters has to live with ghosts, meaning a father and 2 sons have to live with them. And I really am sad that this show did get canceled because I loved it, but I rate it a 4.5 out of 10. In 8th place, I got Ned Declassified School Survival Guide. The tips were phenomenal. They really did help me out. I used these tips in many situations in middle school, even high school, and even still to this day. But the show itself was pretty boring and ridiculous at times. And it felt like some things were dragging on at times. But the characters were entertaining, especially Coconut Head. So in that case, I rate this show a 4.5 out of 10. In 7th place, I got iCarly. It is a very weird show, but it's fun weird. And the most memorable characters of the entire list of my list. And I love the characters from Sam and Freddy's banter to Kiwi just being plain stupid and taking his shirt off whenever. But he does become a main character in like season 5. But by far the best character in the show is Spencer, and the best part about him is whenever his sculptures catch on fire for no reason at all, even if they're not like fire, whatever, they literally just catch fire just because it's so funny, which is why I rate the show a 6 out of 10. In 6th place, I have the Thundermans. I think the show would have been better if Max actually became a villain, and it would have had a long-lasting effect on the audience. I honestly feel like we didn't need Chloe. She was just annoying, and Billy is dumb. I don't get why every Nick show has to have a dumb character. But other than that, everything about the show is fantastic, which is why I rate it a 6.6 out of 10. In 5th place, I got Game Shakers. I hate that they just left off on a cliffhanger. And I get that Dan Snyder got fired and did all those bad stuff, but still, they couldn't at least give us one more episode just to see who she picks. My favorite person on Game Shakers is Hudson. He is so funny. Double G is so funny, and that's why I like the show. That is what makes the show funny, and I like how Faye goes crazy because she can't be with Case and Mendel. And I can't believe that Babe and Kessie brought their own game company for a school project and then opened their big game company and started making games. And I will say that I still do play Skyrail, Octopi, and all the games like that was released around the show, and their theme song was peak. Like, this is the only Nickelodeon show that I actually do not mind the character being dumb because he does it so well, and that's why I rate this show a 7 out of 10. In 4th place, I got TMNT 2012. It brought a fresh and exciting take on the beloved franchise. The best part about the show is Michelangelo and Casey Jones' relationship because they're so immature and they're the most immature of the crew. The whole storyline of April is the key for the mutagen was super interesting, and I feel bad for Splinter that he lost his close friend Shredder, and that Shredder turned into a life of crime. And I cannot believe that Shredder took Splinter's daughter and raised her as his own. I also really enjoy Ralph and Slash's chemistry and Donnie's obsession with April, but everything about it just works super well for me, so I rate this show a 7.5 out of 10. In 3rd place, I got Big Timers. This show is underrated. Also, it's pretty nice how the principal of Minnesota and the boys are sticking together no matter what throughout all 4 seasons. Even in season 3, when BTR gets so famous, they have to move out of the Palm Woods and have to move to Bella. Kendall, Logan, Carlos, and James stick together no matter what happens. The last episode was very emotional, and I was so happy when Lucy gave James a chance. I also like every song in the show. It was so fire, and I literally listen to all the songs to this day. And my favorite song from the show is either Paralyzed, Halfway There, or Windows Down. I also really liked when Kendall was like, Joe, break up with me. You literally got offered a movie, and opportunities like this come once in a lifetime, and that literally made me tear up, especially when Kendall and Joe are in the airport and they're singing Worldwide. That really was a tearjerker for me. I also really enjoy Katie's and Bitter's banter throughout the entire show, and I love how Gustavo calls the boys the dogs, and whenever they are feeling down, they call him a giant turd. But other than that, I rate the show a 8.5 out of 10. In my runner-up spot, I got Henry Danger. This is a phenomenal TV show. I'm so happy that it didn't get canceled when Dan Schneider got fired on the Game Shakers, which did get canceled. And my favorite character in the show is Jasper. He's kind of dumb, quirky, and he just wants to do a lot for Captain Man and Kid Danger, but his ideas and everything get shunned out, and he doesn't really get the appreciation that he deserves. Henry's character arc at the end, when he doesn't know if he's graduating and he wants to go to college but he's too busy being Kid Danger and saving the world, but Ray doesn't really accept that. That was really well written because you don't really get that, and they don't really fight like that throughout the entire show, and I thought it was the best part of the show. And you also have super funny side characters like Swatch, who is super smart and can fix anything. And when Piper found out that Henry was Kid Danger, it was so funny because she's always had an obsession with Kid Danger her entire life, and she's always had a little crush on him. But he literally turned out to be his own brother, so that was pretty funny. Charlotte is also super smart, sassy, and it's kind of a know-it-all, and has to be right all the time. And Captain Man is just super funny because he's a little man child and doesn't know what to do in a bad situation, because one time in an episode where he didn't get a churro, he blew up the man cave. But I just thought the entire show was fantastic, and it had well written characters, which is why I rated it 9.5 out of 10. And the show would have been first if it wasn't for the next show that's on my list. And the show that I'm talking about is Drake and Josh. I think that they are the perfect mismatch of the stepbrothers, and I absolutely adore this TV show as well. Drake and Josh is one of the best, not if the best, TV show, Nickelodeon show of all time. It is fabulous and amazing. Drake and Josh is the best. I love their banter. Drake is a popular musician and a ladies' man, but he can be irresponsible and narcissistic and immature at times. And he's also a little bit of absent-minded. Josh is a nerdy, good, goofy man, but he's very kind, loving throughout, and caring. And I grew up watching this show, and I have watched this show ever since, every single day, or not every day, but most days since I was a teenager. But I don't know why the show here is serious. My favorite episode in the show is the phone finger episode, when it's revealed that Drake and Josh met 7 years prior at a baseball game, and they gave us the greatest meme of all time in Nickelodeon history. You calling me a liar? Well, I ain't calling you a truther. My favorite quote in Drake and Josh is, hug me, brother. Also, Megan is devious in the show. No wonder they cast Miranda Cosgrove as Carly Shay and iCarly. Also, Crazy Steve is also a really good character because you never know when he's going to pop up and how he's going to react. And in the final episode of the shrimp scene, it's like a little callback to the Amanda Show skit, which is, I thought, was super funny and super down to earth, and callback to that show. So everything about the show I love, so I rate it a 10 out of 10. But with that being said, guys, I'm Andrew, also known as Iron Android. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and put on notifications so you don't miss a single upload. Also follow my TikTok, link will be in the description. Show me some love over there, but I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.